everybody. Welcome to my kitchen. My name is Mindy Banks. I'm the Flip Flop Chef, and I'm so excited to be here with you today and have my guest, Annie. You go by Annie.
Both Anne or Annie.
Okay, so
yes.
Annie is with Nursing from the Heart, and she is going to share some great information for all of the nursing moms or expectant moms that are watching our video today. So I'm excited for you to share a little bit about what you do. After we hear from Annie, we're going to make lactation bars. And just so you know, you don't have to be lactating to eat these bars.
Oh, they're yummy.
They're really, really good, and they're so easy. And my favorite thing is that they're no bake. So you literally can whip them up and start eating them, and they'll stay fresh for about a week or so in your fridge. So before we make our lactation bars, I want you to tell us a little bit about what you have to offer at Nursing from the Heart.
Well, thank you. First of all, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here. I am a huge fan of Pampered Chef gadgets. I have a bunch of them at so I'm excited to share today about the lactation cookies.
Okay, great.
I had a chance to have them recently with Mindy, and they're very yummy. But I don't know if they last a week in my refrigerator.
I know they won't.
Might be a couple of hours, if that. But I'm very excited to be here. My name again is Ann Lucier. I'm with Nursing from the Heart. I'm a registered nurse and a lactation consultant, and I have a private lactation practice here in Carrollton. And I'm very excited. What I do every day is I get to help moms and families reach their breastfeeding goals. And by doing that, I provide breastfeeding education, office lactation consultations, and then I also go ahead and do home visits, which is primarily what I do. Go into moms' homes, help her breastfeed,
I think that's awesome.
And we can go ahead and help them reach their goals. So
I love
they're excited to be here, so thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Mindy.
And so you're here in Carrollton, but you don't just service Carrollton. You do have the option to travel, and there may be a travel fee if it's too far.
Yes, I go ahead and I service Carroll, Douglas, Coweta County.
Okay.
And so I try to help moms, typically within 45-minute drive.
Okay.
I do go further, and there's usually just a travel fee for that. Or if I know there's another consultant that's closer to them,
oh, that's great.
then I can go ahead and refer them to them as well. We
that's
all
awesome.
Support each other, and we try to help moms
that's
get
great.
to where they want to be. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited to have you here today. So we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to make these lactation bars, and then I'm going to have you share a little bit more about different foods and different ways that moms can help increase their milk supply, and just whatever you want to share. I know we talked about a lot of things, and I'm excited. I'm excited to have heard all that, and I'm excited for you to share with everybody else. So we're going to use our snack bar maker, which is a pretty new product from Pampered Chef. I don't know if you've seen this.
I haven't.
So this is a snack bar maker, and you can get it with or without this little spatula. I'm going to tell everybody why that's kind of a useful tool. You get it at a discounted price too when you buy them together, so that's useful for so many other things.
I have that at home.
Isn't it awesome?
I use it all the time.
It is awesome. So the cool thing about this is you can make your own homemade snack bars. So cereal bars, granola bars, no bake or baked granola bars. You can get really creative. You can make chocolate bars in here. You can use it for whatever you want. So the lid is plastic. The base is silicone. And so I've got a little leftover flour in there. Let me wipe that out really quick. Had a little bit left over from the last thing I made, I guess. Like I said before, it says pampered, not perfect, right? So this is our snack bar maker, and you see that it's kind of flexible. It's because it's silicone, it's oven safe. The lid is plastic, it is not oven safe. Okay. So the reason that this is kind of a solid piece is so that it sort of stabilizes this. You can even store your bars in here. You don't have to transfer them to something else. I like to store them in the leak-proof storage containers. These are awesome. I don't know if you've seen these before, but they're glass containers, and they have a plastic lid, and it has a silicone seal around the edges. That seal keeps everything fresh, keeps everything, yes, it keeps the mold out, keeps everything that you want in and everything that you don't want out. Yeah. And the cool thing is, because it's leak proof, if you put this in a picnic basket or a cooler, it's not going to leak out if it gets jostled around or flipped over or something. So this is what I like to store the cookies in. You can put this in the fridge, the freezer, microwave, and it even goes in the oven without the lid. So I just store them. Some people store them in the fridge. You can store them on the countertop too, whatever you prefer. So that's our leak-proof storage container. This snack bar is obviously not just for lactation bars. You can use it for so many different things. And I have a recipe group. I don't even know if you know about this recipe group that I have on Facebook. It's called the Flip Flop Chef, and it just has a recipe group at the end. And if anybody watching wants to follow me on that page, it's found at theflipflopchef.com. So it's real easy for you to find it. But you can actually download a copy of this snack bar maker cookbook, and it has lots of great recipes for bars that you can make in here. So it has baked granola bars, no bake granola bars, milk and cereal bars, homemade chocolate bars, crunchy nut bars, crunchy nut bars, no bake date bars, and strawberry frozen yogurt bars. So lots of great options for you with the snack bar maker. So we are going to make the lactation bars, which are also known as Booby bars. And so we are going to use some basic ingredients that you'll find in most granola bars. But the secret ingredient is the brewer's yeast, which some people believe it can help you produce more breast milk. So if you're a nursing mom, that's one thing that you can try to help increase your supply. And Annie's going to tell us some other things that we can try in a few minutes. So let's go ahead and make these. I'm going to go ahead and take this off, and we're gonna mix this in our KitchenAid mixer. So you don't have to have a mixer. It's easier on your arm if you do have a mixer. So I'm just gonna take this bowl off, and we're just gonna put everything in. So I'm gonna let you hand me these ingredients that we have here. And I've measured most everything out. Yeah, if you wanna you can just put them right here, and then I'll add them in. So I've got a half a cup of chocolate chips, because anything that has chocolate in it is good, right? So you probably don't know this because we're new friends. So you don't know a lot about me yet, but there's a Flip Flop Chef oath. And if you don't know why I'm called the Flip Flop Chef, it's because I always wear flip-flops no matter what time of year it is. So if you find me in the middle of winter, I'll still be in flip-flops. But the Flip Flop Chef oath is that you have to promise that whenever you cook with chocolate or cheese, that you just double whatever the recipe calls for. Okay?
That's not a problem.
I know, a little's good and lots better. So we're gonna start with the chocolate chips. I used a half a cup, you could use more or less. I've got a cup of old-fashioned oats. You could use steel cut oats if you prefer that. It's really up to you. This is a half a tablespoon of the brewer's yeast.
Okay.
I was worried that you would be able to taste this in the bar. But when you tasted them, did you feel like you tasted it? I didn't taste it at all. No. It kind of has a strong smell. And so because this is not being baked, I was concerned that it might taste, but don't even taste it at all. All right, we're going to add a cup of flaked coconut. Yes, absolutely. The flaked coconut, I buy sweetened because I like sugar. I know that's terrible, but you can use unsweetened or sweetened for this recipe. So, and I just store flaked coconut in the freezer, because if you don't use it very often, you can just store it in the freezer and it will stay fresh longer. This is my very first Pampered Chef product. So you probably don't even know my story with Pampered Chef, but I went to my first Pampered Chef party when I was 15 years old. It's been almost, it's been almost 23 years ago that I went to my first party. And the only reason I went was my mom had a car and I had a learner's permit, and she let me drive her. Oh. And this is what she bought me. So thanks, Mom. I still have it. Same one from 23 years ago. It's a measure-all cup. You just pull the plunger down, you fill it with whatever ingredients that you're measuring, and then you just press it out. So I've had this for 23 years, and I know you're close enough that you can see it has a little wear and tear, but it's still like in amazing shape, and it works really good. So one side is for your drying solids and the other side is for your liquids. We're not adding really any liquid to this. If you'll hand me that measuring cup, that's okay. I'm gonna add, this is the small one. I think we call it mini. And then we have a petite size as well, which is a little teeny tiny one. I think it's in my car right now because I'm using it at my parties this month. So I keep my car packed, so every party is real easy for me. I just have to get in the car and go. All right, so this is a third cup of honey. You can use raw honey, you can use clover honey, whatever you want. Local honey is even better if you can get local honey, because then you get that added allergy prevention benefit to that. So, okay, so this is exciting. This is ground flaxseed. You can buy ground flaxseed at certain stores. I'm an Aldi shopper. Everybody that's watching me that knows me already knows that. And Aldi doesn't have the ground flaxseed, but they do sell the flaxseed. Okay. And so I have a Vitamix with a dry blender cup, and you can use it to grind, wheat and things like that. So you can put the flaxseed in that kind of a blender. It's not going to work in any kind of blender. The Vitamix has a special dry blender cup. So it makes it really easy. So I just put the flaxseed in. I actually think the flaxseed has a stronger smell than the brewer's yeast. So we're going to add this in there, and then we're going to add a little bit of vanilla. So real easy. I just made some homemade vanilla. I don't know, did you see that video? Okay, so it's not ready yet, or I'd be using it. But I was really excited. That was perfect amount here. So my vanilla's gone. So I have a big bottle of vanilla that I made using bourbon and fresh vanilla beans. So you'll have to watch that video so you can check it out. So we got all of our ingredients in here. Really quick, really easy. We're gonna put the bowl in the KitchenAid. I'm gonna lock this down and I'm just gonna mix this together. So you have a couple of things that you can actually make your bars or cookies in. So I've already told you guys about the snack bar maker. We also have these herb freezing trays. So a lot of times when we name something a certain way, people think a little bit closed-minded. Like they think, oh, this is just for freezing herbs. But you can freeze lots of things in here. So a couple of examples. Whenever we're cooking with bacon, I like to pour some of the bacon grease in here and just let it solidify, and then you can pop it out, put it in a Ziploc bag, keep it in the freezer or the fridge, and then whenever you need just a tiny bit of bacon grease, you can just pop it out and it's ready to go. So yeah, you can check that one out. You can also use this for baby food. So if you make homemade baby food, you can put the little portions in here, and then when they're frozen, pop them out and then transfer them to a Ziploc bag or one of our leak-proof containers, and it makes it really easy for you to get the baby food as you need it. There are so many different ways that you can use these, but today we're going to use them to make the Booby bites. So you got Booby bars and Booby bites. So let's go ahead and scrape down our beater here, and then I'll set this aside. And while I am doing this, I'm going to have you share a little bit more, but before you do that, let's talk about these scoops. So we have the small and the medium scoop. This is like a melon baller size. This is a, yes. Did you know we have a third size? It's a cupcake size or a muffin size. So small is a melon baller, medium is like your standard cookie scoop, and the large is a cupcake or muffin. So I find for this that 2 of these, because this is a 2 tablespoon well in each of these bars. Okay, so you see how I've got just 2 little scoops? So once you put 2 in there, you take this spatula and you just kind of press it out into the well. So easy, right? And if you really want to have these like a little bit more firm, just put the whole tray in the fridge for 15 or 20 minutes, and then you can pop them out. They're a little bit wet right now, but after you refrigerate them, they're going to stay into like a bar. So that's another benefit of refrigerating them. If you have them on the counter, you're going to want to have them separated with like parchment paper or something, because they're going to come to room temperature. So it's up to you how you want to serve them. And then you can also take this same scoop and fill each one of these. So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to let you share with everybody all of the things, the great things that you were telling me earlier, because I'm really excited about this. I wish I had known Annie when I had my twins. So I know that there's a lot of twin moms watching. I think I told you that at the beginning. And I know there's probably a lot of preemie moms that are going to be watching this, the replay later. So I had a hard time producing enough milk for my twins, and that's a really heartbreaking thing for, I was a first-time mom, and, you know, had never been down this road before, and I wish that I had known you, because I think that you could have helped me a lot. So I'm going to let you share your best tips with everybody here, and then I'm going to get these bars together, and then you can take some with you.
Practices, because moms were needing help, and that's the biggest thing, is to be able to get the support that you need. You know, basically there'll be 4 out of 5 moms will initiate breastfeeding. Okay. But only 1 out of 4 is exclusively breastfeeding at 6 months. Oh, wow. And so the CDC just came out with that report this year, and the numbers are improving over time because we are getting more support, but moms do need support in doing that. And so a lot of times, if you do have your baby in the NICU, it's having that support initially, getting moms pumping, getting the hormone levels and everything stimulated so we can go ahead and start working on that milk supply. It's really critical to be able to go ahead and start stimulating and emptying your breast. And that's the key to a milk supply. It's all about supply and demand. It's being able to, if you're not able to put the baby to the breast, the next best thing is to be pumping.
And you need to do that very quickly after birth, right?
Okay. Absolutely. Typically, when I worked at the hospital, we wanted to do it within 5 hours of delivery. Okay. Yeah, I remember waking up from my C-section and there was someone there like telling me to start pumping, and I was just like,
you serious?
Yes, and the reason why is because the sooner that we get pumping, the more prolactin receptor sites.
Okay.
And for those of you who don't know, prolactin is the milk hormone. That's what we need to go ahead and work on our milk supply.
All right.
In addition to oxytocin, which is the hormone that helps us release the milk, but also that's our mothering hormone. That's the one that helps us relax.
Oh, interesting.
And
okay.
so those are the two hormones that we need, but we need to be stimulating our breasts and we need to be emptying. The more frequently that your breasts are emptied, the more milk that you're going to be making. So it's that constant cycle of telling your body, okay, I'm empty, I need to make more. If I stay full, my body says, well, there's still milk there, I don't need to go ahead and make anymore.
Okay.
So it's really critical that we understand that it's about supply and demand, that we're stimulating and emptying to go ahead and maximize our milk supply.
Now, can I interrupt and ask a question? So since we do have a lot of NICU moms that probably will watch this, what do you recommend time-wise? How often should a mom who cannot put her baby to the breast, how often should they be pumping and for how long per session, so to speak?
That's a great
question. I think that's something a lot of people that are going to watch this video are going to need to know.
Yeah,
they might not know they need to know.
Right,
but,
absolutely.
So if you can tell us about that.
And typically, you want to be pumping 8 to 12 times a day. Okay. Okay. Typically 10 to 15 minutes. Okay. Basically, once you stimulate your breast, your prolactin level after you're done pumping or breastfeeding, will peak at about 45 minutes. Okay. And so what we want to do is we want to continue to be increasing that prolactin level. So every hour and a half to 3 hours is typically when we would have a baby to the breast. A lot of times when we are not able to put baby to the breast, then we're pumping every 2 to 3 hours. What I tell moms is that you may need to pump sooner than that, because what ends up happening is your breasts get full. We want to make sure we don't get what we call engorged. Right. So I don't know if you experience any engorgement or not, but some moms do, because we have that milk we need to go ahead and get out. It may be painful. You may have pressure. Okay. And we want to go ahead, and sometimes before that 2 to 3 hours, you may go ahead and need to pump. Okay. Same thing in the middle of the night. You know, you may wake up in the middle of the night because your breasts are full, and that's another indication. So it's really important to listen to your body and what your body's saying. So long and short, 8 to 12 times a day. That could be every 2 to 3 hours for 10 to 15 minutes. And is there a problem with pumping for longer periods of time? Not necessarily. What we want to do is we want it to be manageable. We want it's very stressful if you have a baby in the NICU, or you're separated from your baby for any reason. So what we try to do, or what I try to do with moms, is try to make sure that we make it manageable. Because what works for one mom may not necessarily work for another mom. You're right. And so it's assessing mom and baby, and also, okay, how can we make this manageable? Because if mom is stressed out about the pumping, and then that's going to go ahead and compromise your milk supply too. So it's very important that, you know, we look at everything. It's not just an all or nothing, and it's not just about pumping. How's mom's diet? How is she staying hydrated? About the pump, you know, it's very important. That was such good information that I did not know, so I'm glad you're going to share that. So it's very important. Pump makes a difference. Okay. Obviously, if baby can't be there, a pump is the next best thing. Okay. And a hospital grade pump is great. A hospital grade pump is great, especially if your baby's in the NICU, and I would highly recommend that's what you use. Okay. Because you want to go ahead and maximize your ability to go ahead and get a milk supply. Okay. So in the hospital, they'll get you started right away pumping, and then when you go home, you'll go home with a hospital grade pump and be doing that as well. Okay. The other thing that's really important, depending on you know, what you qualify, a lot of insurance companies will pay. They pay for mine too. And they send you your pump. I still would highly recommend with a NICU baby that you are using that hospital grade pump. My insurance paid for the rental or whatever. Yes, they will. That was great for me. Get a doctor's order, even better. Yeah. To be able to do that, especially until you've established that milk supply. Once you've established that milk supply, you know, you can do the Medellas and the Midas and the other pumps that are out there right now, the Spectras. You did say that should be a single-use pump. Like, moms shouldn't, like, if I had a breast pump after I was no longer nursing, I shouldn't give that or sell that to someone else, because it may not be working at the capacity that it should. Absolutely. Okay. They are intended for single use, meaning that for one mom to be able to use. And what ends up happening is over time that motor function may go ahead and decrease.
Okay.
And so there are often times that I'll have mom come, or I'll see her and establish or assess her milk supply and find out that her milk supply might be a little bit low, but then she's been using a secondhand pump, and we don't know what the function of that pump is.
Sure.
And so we want to go ahead and make sure that it's a new pump. Now with, affordable care and providing those, mom should be able to get those. And a lot of times they're mailing them right to your house as early as 36 weeks.
Okay, so you have it ahead of time.
Yes, so you have it. So, and I think it's really important too, talking about assessing the milk supply, because as I was telling you,
Yes, I want you to share that.
the number one concern that moms have is that they don't think they have enough milk. So it's really important that you get an assessment to find out, whether or not you indeed do have a low milk supply, because oftentimes moms have sufficient milk.
Okay.
And so what we want to do is make sure before we go ahead and start doing a lot of the interventions and adding things in is let's first make sure, do you have a low milk supply?
And tell us how you find that out, because you're explaining to me, and I had never heard of this before, and it was not offered to me. Nobody suggested we try that either.
So one of the ways that we can do that, milk supply is based on, as I talked about, supply and demand, the stimulating and the emptying. It also is dependent on the baby's effectiveness to be able to empty the breast and what's going on with the baby. NICU babies, they're born premature, they don't have that suck-swallow coordination enough to be efficient.
Right.
So we do a lot of breast practicing in the beginning.
Okay.
And getting baby to the breast and nibbling at the breast. And
do you make NICU visits too, for like within a certain range? Like
to moms' homes, I do.
Okay, but not to the NICU.
Within the hospital, they have lactation consultants there in the hospital.
Okay.
And so they'll start going ahead and working with you in the NICU. And we did that a lot when I was at the hospital.
That's great.
We'd come in and start, because we want to start getting baby to the breast. Skin to skin, you cannot do enough skin to skin.
Okay.
That's another way to help with your milk supply, because it increases that hormones. It gets baby to the breast.
Okay.
And this is going to go off topic a little bit, but getting baby to the breast, just having them nibble at your breast helps with the microbiome of the breast. And because we have all those antibodies in our breast milk, when babies can go ahead and go to the breast, they're nibbling on their saliva is getting into the breast. It signals your body to produce any antibodies that would help them. So, and there's lots of great things, and I could talk about this all day.
Yeah, but that's awesome. That's so cool.
But getting back to supplies, getting them there, trying to initiate, and that skin to skin helps with the milk supply. So mommies can be doing that as long as it's safe within the NICU and it's good for the baby. So that would be something you talk with the nurses and the doctors.
Yeah, I know at Cobb NICU where I had my boys, they were very much encouraging the skin to skin as much as possible. But like you said, most premature babies aren't born with that suck, swallow, breathe capacity. And that the breathing part is, they can't do all three of them. And that's the problem with a lot of them being able to nurse. And I know that a lot of the moms that may be watching this that I know who have twin-to-twin babies or just twins in general, there's a lot of people that I know who have babies in the NICU. So this is all really great information, not just for my friends, but for everybody watching.
But it is. I mean, there's lots of ways that you can go help and improve your milk supply. So getting back to assessing, it's really good to go ahead and get with a lactation consultant and determine whether or not you have a low milk supply.
And they weigh, you say you do a weigh check, like a weight check for the mom before
the baby. We'll do a weight. What we'll do is we'll weigh the baby.
Okay.
And then we'll go ahead and put baby to the breast. And what we'll do is what we call a latch assessment. Okay. And we'll see how baby's latching. And we'll determine whether there's anything that we need to do about tweaking the latch. Okay. We can go ahead and make sure that mom's not having any engorgement. We can do a breast assessment as well. Okay. We put baby to the breast and we go ahead and let baby feed. And when baby detaches or falls asleep, whatever the case may be, we'll weigh the baby again. Okay. And so we can determine how effective baby is with transferring. Okay. And then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and probably try the other breast again, depending on the baby's behavior. Okay. And with that being said, we can see, is baby effectively transferring? Is baby struggling at the breast? Why is baby struggling? Does mom not have enough milk? Is mom able to hand express? We'll go ahead and have mom pump too to see how much that she can pump. Okay. And getting back to pumping again, all pumps are not created equal.
Do you have a suggestion on the best one for pumping?
The thing of it is some moms will respond
Okay.
better to a
So
Medela.
there's not one
Some
there.
may respond better to a Meta. Some may respond better to a Spectra.
Okay.
So it depends. Again, it's about mom and how she can respond to that. So
Interesting.
there's not necessarily one better than the other, but there are the higher quality with the maximum pump
Okay.
capacity.
Okay.
So being able to do that, but having mom pump and being able to assess that too. And just talking to mom and how is she feeling? How do her breasts feel? Does she feel that they're filling up? Some moms have letdowns, some moms don't. You may have multiple letdowns. There's lots of things that we talk about, and it's not just one or two questions.
Right.
We got to assess the whole situation and determine.
That's great.
Oftentimes we find that baby gets to the breast, may fall asleep, especially babies that are near term, that we're getting to the breast, they fall asleep, and then they're waking up and mom's thinking, well, I don't think they got enough.
Okay.
Well, they fell asleep and they didn't finish eating.
Okay.
So it's stimulating them to try to keep them to have a full feed and assessing, was this a good feed, was this not a good feed, and things like that. So those are things that we can help,
That's awesome.
with the consultation. So.
Okay. Is there anything else that you want to share, like other foods that you can add to your diet, or is there a food that you should maybe take away? Anything else that you think that moms might need to know when they're trying to increase their milk supply?
Okay. There are lots of things that you can go ahead and encourage. The number one beta glucan that they recommend, and there's been research on, is barley.
Barley, okay.
And so there's the polysaccharide has been known to help stimulate the prolactin level.
Okay.
And so that helps. Oats is another one. There's not a lot of research, but anecdotally we have seen that there's an increase.
Yeah.
The key with that is that you have to have a full serving of it. So you just had a cup of oats. So ladies, you get to eat all of these in one serving.
I love it. And this morning before you got here, I actually made oatmeal in my quick cooker.
Oh, perfect.
So that would be another recipe they could eat, like a bowl of oatmeal.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I was going to ask you if you have any Pampered Chef recipes with barley. Maybe that's one thing that we can share and use one of the other cookers for that. But barley is another.
That's great.
I've often had moms say, "Oh, well, I was told to have a beer."
Yeah, that was the advice I was given, and I hate beer, and I literally felt nauseous trying to do that, and I was just like, this is not the way it's supposed to be.
And people think that it's the beer in there, but what it is, it's the barley. Okay, and so alcohol actually decreases your milk supply. So if you do like the taste of beer, then what I would suggest is you have a non-alcoholic beer and get the effects that way. To be able to do that. So there's barley, there's oatmeal. Papaya has been known to help relax, which is very stressful to have a baby in the NICU, so it's very important. I highly encourage self-care all the time. Mommy needs to be taking care of mommy, because when mommy's taken care of, she's more relaxed and more comfortable and confident. So
and it's hard for NICU moms to take care of themselves. Like I remember people saying, "Oh, enjoy your sleep now while they're in the NICU," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not sleeping. I'm pumping all night long." And so it is. It's just a different experience.
So get some papaya.
Okay, I like papaya.
Have that. So that's another one for you. There's lots of great other things. There's a couple of things I do want to tell you that will decrease your milk
we need
supply.
to know that too.
And some moms are not aware of, but peppermint.
Interesting.
Peppermint is one that will decrease it. Sage and parsley. Obviously, we eat things that have sage and parsley, so I think a small amount, but you need just to be conscious that,
So not a whole plate of dressing for Thanksgiving.
Exactly.
That's good to know.
So that's another one too. But the other thing is medications. So you want to check if you're going to take any kind of medications, any herbs or anything like that. Of a fellow IBCLC in nutrition, Alicia Simpson, she has a great book, Boost Your Milk Supply. You want to go ahead and check that out. She's got a lot of great helpful hints on there about herbs and foods. Moringa is another one. that will help with it's just hard to access.
Okay.
You know, so there's things like that. So you
There's a company that sells something. There's a multi-level marketing company that sells something with moringa, and I can't. Zija, I think. Have you ever heard of that?
No, I haven't.
I don't even know if they're still around, but that's like their main ingredient. And you should. And if there's anybody watching that's with that company, they can send us some information. But
absolutely.
I was like, what company? I've heard that word before. So
yeah.
Okay. So anything else that you want to share?
The other thing that we hear a lot about is fenugreek.
Yes.
And fennel seed. And so, again, we use that with caution. Anybody that has any problems with diabetes or sugar or anything like that, anytime that you're taking something, you want to go ahead and talk with your healthcare professional.
Okay.
So I do a complete history of mom, a complete history of baby, because what again works for one mom doesn't work for another. You know, there's other factors that affect your milk supply. If you're anemic, for instance. You want to definitely continue taking your prenatal vitamins and any iron supplement that you're taking.
Okay.
If you have any hormonal imbalances, if you have problems with your thyroid, infertility, PCOS, you know, there's lots of other factors that we need to go ahead and assess with mom. So that's why it's very important to have a full history there with mom as well. So fenugreek has been known to help increase. It's been used a lot in the Indian culture, Middle East for years to be able to do that. Again, it's finding the right product, the right dosage, and things like that. It can cause some GI upset too. So, but again, it goes back to determining what's causing the issue with the milk supply, and if indeed there is one. So, stay tuned this week. I'll start posting some more stuff in depth about milk supply, about resources and foods and more like that, because we could stay here all day.
Yeah, and I'll post your link and your contact information and your website, so that anybody that's watching that wants to contact you for assistance with this, they will have your information. And it's like lactating or lactation?
Lactation
Consultant. I was questioning myself. I'm sorry. Well, the name of your
nursing
from the heart. That's what caught me off. I was getting them mixed up. So, but yeah. So okay, somebody's mom, I think that's Selena. I have very bad eyes with this mom. She says her mom's always telling her to use fenugreek to help her milk supply. And so basically what you're saying with all these tips is that every mom is different, every baby's different. So if one thing that you try doesn't work, don't give up. Try something else. And keep trying until you get it right. And then you can come and help them figure everything out, so that they're not doing this alone.
Absolutely.
So I love that.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll get together a plan, and we'll try that. And if it's not working, we go ahead and reassess it, and we modify it. Okay. You know.
And you mentioned that they can file a claim through their insurance to help get the cost to see you covered with their insurance. So I love that that's an option for people too, because I know cost. I mean, we can talk about how things are worth the money all the time, but everybody looks at a price tag and everybody looks at how much something costs, and so there is that value in being able to get a reimbursement through the insurance company or having them cover it. So I love that.
And what's nice is a consult will cover several cans.
Absolutely.
So we got to kind of look at it that way, that to have a visit is a lot cheaper than having to go.
Do you know how much we spent on formula?
It's not
$600 a month for a high calorie preemie formula. $600 a month. Like, we felt like we got a raise when our boys were able to switch to regular milk. It's expensive, so that's a great way to look at it. That's great. Okay, that's awesome to know. Well, good. Well, I'm so glad that you came today. Thank you
excited to be here.
Much, and we're going to send some of these home with you. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions for me, did you think of something else?
One other thing I just thought, because I think I'll make those for the next breastfeeding support group. Again, it's very important to have support. So we have a monthly support group. It meets the third Monday of the month.
And where do y'all meet?
And we meet at the Burston Center.
Oh, great.
Off of Old Bremen Road. That's where my office is at.
Okay.
It's from 5:30 to 6:30. I invite pregnant moms, expecting moms, breastfeeding moms, NICU moms, all come on out. I'm going to start doing a raffle every month. Okay. So
I'll get you something to raffle off.
Okay, that'll be perfect.
And
I'll make some Booby bites so we can have to share with that. The other thing that I highly encourage moms, expectant parents, is to go ahead and get a prenatal education breastfeeding class.
And Tanner here in Carrollton offers those. I took one of those, and they're free. They're free classes, and your support group is free. Is that right?
That's
correct. So this is great information.
And the other thing I do offer is one-on-one classes for expectant parents on their schedule, because they can't always make over to the trainer. And then I have a class once a month that's specific just for breastfeeding. So,
and is all that information on your website?
It is.
Okay, perfect.
Absolutely.
So I'll post your website, your Facebook page, and your contact information. And I appreciate you guys watching today. If you have any questions for me or for Annie, you can put them in the comments, and we will get back to you later on. But thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Have a great day.